Primary School in Busia District. We want to thank the organizing committee of the Sub-Regional Senior Secondary School Sports Session that have brought together a total of about 58 schools who have been here for the last 5 days competing amongst themselves. First of all, we want to thank all the people who have played a role in ensuring that these teams from the respective schools stay here safely and without any problem, without any challenge for all these 5 days. We really want to thank them for ensuring the safety of these teams and their welfare. It's very important for us to note and also thank these sports young women and men for upholding the highest level of discipline, because we very well know that discipline and sports, these ones walk hand in hand. You cannot succeed in sports if you're not a disciplined person, because if you're indisciplined, it may in a way jeopardize your performance in sports or even shorten the longevity of your career as a sports person or a sportswoman. So we want to encourage these young people that discipline is the way to go. They will never regret if they choose to stay a disciplined group. I want to take the opportunity to also inform the people who are gathered here that as government, we continue to work with the Uganda Secondary School Sports Association. We work with them to help us identify talents from the grassroots. Talents from the grassroots straight from our schools. And what we are looking at, we have a vision or an aim as the government to develop minimum zonal infrastructure, at least 2 stadiums per sub-region. We are targeting the 18 traditional sub-regions, and Bukedi being one of them, we anticipate that will be also considered. When we look at the 2 stadiums, the question is still within whether to only have these stadiums in schools, identify schools and build the stadiums in schools. Another option is have one stadium in a school and another stadium open to the public. This is a debate that our politicians who participate and contribute in cabinet will sort out. But what we want to do is to give capacity, to build capacity in our sub-regions, whereby through the schools we can be able to identify and harness the potentials we have of our sports young people. We have seen a country as Uganda winning so many gold medals internationally. So we know that if we put in much more effort in identifying and developing potentials right from the grassroots, we are going to expand, we are going to have a favorable capacity to compete not only on national level, but also at international level. I am very happy that the organizing committee in the Bukedi sub-region invited me to participate today, not only because they are hosting it in Busia, but because it is Bukedi where I come from. When you look at the top charts, the top secondary schools who are topping the charts of the USA, the Uganda Senior Secondary Sports Association, the schools that are topping, we have St. Mary's Chitende, we have Chivuli, we have St. Nuwa, we have the Budo. But with such interventions, I am really strengthened and know that in the short run, we are going to have the likes of Busia SS, we are going to have the likes of Manjas also taking up this space. And this is going to position us very well as a sub-region, not only on the national map, but also on the international map.
We enrolled 48 referees for these games. And within these referees, most of them are national referees accredited by FUFA. We also have referees trained by us, Uganda Secondary Schools Association, 20 referees. They have done a good job. I have not had any team complain about officiation. And I'm so happy. I want to encourage them to be professional. And I hope they can also be allocated some space at the national games. And I'm going to submit some names to the Secretariat, because we have seen a very peaceful tournament. And once the referees are fair and just, the tournament will be peaceful. Document in that year. But now UNEB is helping us to confirm that the person you have actually sat some time back and is over age. Another impersonation is using a team gets an album like this. They edit it without our knowledge. They paste photos of different people on different information. So we are checking all of this. That's why our system is integrated. So that when we check UNEP, we can check NIRA, we can check FUFA Connect, and it must tally. The name must be the same, the date of birth must be the same, so that we have one clean person. And it's a process. So we want players to be patient with us. Very soon the system will be very clean, so that once you fill in a player in your school, it brings all that information, and we shall weed them out.
The appreciation to the officiating teams that they have done their professional work ably, without any bias. At least for this time, we have involved all the Bouquet D referees, and we have not specialized on one district, but all districts were involved, meaning that there was no bureaucracy and there was no any person complaining about any referring that took place, which means that the games were fairly officiated and everybody has consented to that. Where there was any challenge, the committee has always held the meetings in the evening to sort out those challenges before the next game. And here we are, we hopefully believe that the games will end well without any problem.
It was not bad, but as we, SSB, we trusted ourselves as students, and we went to represent SSB. As we went to face our opponents, for them they brought people from outside and they scored us 5 goals, but since we were faithful, we had to go with that. But God helped us. After our games, they disqualified it, and now it never played quarter because it removed us on the round of 16, and it never played the quarter and semis and finals. Now they disqualified it. I'm happy about that.
Improving, but it's very unfortunate that the mature boys who are over age are taking up the position of these young ones. You find a very good boy of 17 years who would have performed better, but because the other one is mature than him, he could not match his strength and the weight. So it presses down the skill of the kids, but generally the skill in Bouquet D has improved. I've seen more talented players than the years before that we have been playing.